She's pretty fast.
Okay, so everyone seemed to like the screwdriver test that we did at Toowoomba in Queensland last week. So I thought I went and invested a lot of money. I spent $16 at Bunnings to buy this moisture, pH levels and light meter for soil. I don't know how useful this thing's gonna be, but I thought, hey, it'll be worth a trial and maybe I can take it everywhere. So I thought we could stick it in the ground and actually see not only how soft the track is, but give an actual reading. We push this in the track. Oh my God, this thing's flimsy. Put it on moist. Oh, she's pretty moist. Moister than an oyster. Oh my God. Oh. All right. So as soon as we stuck that down, it just said wet. Let's have a look again. It's got like a reading. Oh God. And it's just completely wet. All right. So that thing's pretty useless. But lucky I have the screwdriver. We can actually tell again how deep it is. Be able to push this thing a bit further down. Ooh. At first it felt kind of hard, but then it feels a bit softer underneath. At the very top of the track, you'll actually see that it's actually really dry. Whenever they wet the track, it's kind of normal to expect that the water's going to drip down to the bottom of the track. So you're always going to expect it to be softer and more moist down the bottom. So I'll just have a quick check. You can see like it's wet, dry. And then I mean like right down the very bottom of the track, which cars may run there. I'm sure that's going to be soaked. It's pretty sludgy here. Yeah, see that's a lot softer than it was up the top of the track. So expect like normal, I guess. The bottom of the track's going to stay tacky. Hopefully the top, last time we were here, or the only show that's been run here, it wasn't as wide. I feel like, and I'll probably talk about it a bit more later on, but it needs a bit more of a bowl shape, this track, in the corners at least. And that way the middle is no man's land, the bottom is the shortest way around the track, but it's not very banked, and then the top we can have a bit more banking, it being the longest way around the track, and you can see some awesome slide jobs. So. Alright, so they've just had driver's briefing, and I think that they changed a bit of the format, so I'm going to go find out what the deal is, because I don't know, as much as I listen, I always find it really confusing, and then you get the end of driver's briefing and every driver goes up to the chief steward and asks a million questions. So yeah, let's go find out what the deal is. Sean, you're the stats man, and I really want to figure out this format. I feel like it just got changed. Did it get changed, or
no, it didn't get changed. No, it didn't get changed. So everyone time trials.
Yep.
And then
in the heats or
in 2 flights.
Okay.
And then the heats are inverted 8.
Yep. First round of heats.
First round of heats is inverted 8.
Yep.
Then for the second round of heats, every car stays in their side of the flight. So the points are tallied up between the qualifying and the first heat.
Yep.
Make up the second round of heats.
Okay. So, yeah,
inverted
so
8
accumulated.
again. Yeah.
Yep.
Inverted 8 again.
Okay.
And then the feature race is 1 to 20 on overall points. And then tomorrow we come back and we do it all again. So it's inverted 8 based on overall points for the first round of heats tomorrow night, and then points are tallied up again, and then inverted 8 again for the second round of heats tomorrow night.
If it's inverted from the first heat, or all the heats, I guess, what is there an incentive to start at the back, like passing points, or?
No, there's no passing points, but obviously the higher you finish up in your heat, then the more points you get.
Right, so at least we've heard how the format works, because it is a 2-night show, and they can either run it as a separate night or two separate nights, or they can combine it. And I really like what they're doing, for the most part anyway, that they combine the points and make it a whole a combined deal. But I do understand that when it's a 2-night show and say the weather's not looking good like it kind of has been, it's a lot better than what we were expecting. But when they combine the points and then all of a sudden you have a prelim A main, or maybe they don't have a main or something like that, and then the next night gets rained out, well then it kind of screws up the whole entire event. But I do like being the New South Wales Sprint Car title that they've combined the nights. I'm not a fan at all of the inverted heats. I just feel like there should be an incentive if you're gonna get quick time and then get inverted 8. Like, you know, I feel like, this is just my opinion, this isn't the only place to do it. So many places do it, and it's kind of a thing that sprint car racing is known for, is inverting and just for entertainment. And I feel like, you know, we could really kind of fix that up, and I feel like it would be entertaining, just like the World of Outlaws do. Just start them straight up. If you quick time, you start off the front of your heat, you've earned that right. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the format anyway. My expectations to win tonight, I'm not 100% sure because it looks like there's a few guys that haven't showed up that I expected to be here. Last week we were in Toowoomba. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you go check it out on our page, on our YouTube channel. But Lockie McHugh said he was going to be here. He's not here. Jamie Veal is here. He won the first night out here that we've had, or when it was cancelled halfway through anyway. Robbie Farr's here, who's always fast. Ian Madsen, who won at Toowoomba last weekend. Plenty of other guys that are fast, heaps of locals. Again, every week I seem to forget who's fast, and you know, I forget a bunch of names that are potential winners and things like that. But yeah, definitely going to be a good race tonight, I guess. Just a shame, I guess. It would have been cool to see more guys. Sydney's in the middle of, you know, say Victoria and Queensland, so you'd expect to kind of attract all those guys. But Tate Frost is here from Tasmania, Brock Hallett's here from South Australia. We've got guys from a few different states, but like I said, it would have been cooler to see yeah, a few more interstate cars, I guess. It looks like it kind of tapers off at the top of the track, where it's just kind of, it's banked and then kind of flattens out towards the last few meters of the edge of the track. And I just feel like we're probably not going to see, kind of like the first night here and the practice nights, you're not going to see wide racing as far as using the entire track. But like Robbie said, and I agree, like there's so much potential for this track to provide exactly all that. So it'll probably be a thing that we find out over the next few races anyway. And the other thing too is, being a 2-night show, hopefully it doesn't rain, and who knows how wide the track will actually get. So that'll be something that we keep an eye on for the next couple of nights. But other than that, let's get into qualifying. Right, so we've just had hot laps, which I love that we're splitting up hot laps and time trials, because I really feel like as a driver you really need to get a feel for what the track's doing and make sure it's safe, especially at speed. But we're about to start time trials. We've got a couple of cameras on. We've got one on Daniel Say, who's getting pushed out in just a second, and then we've also got one on Tate Frost from Tasmania. So here we go. Pretty good out there, man.
Yeah, it felt alright. So the track's pretty obviously heavy, so but it's gonna be interesting tonight. 2 heat races gonna make a bit different, and inverted 8 obviously it's gonna get cars moving around a bit. So as I said, we can get past that little whip and widen out. Hopefully we can later on.
What do you think of the format? I don't mind inverts, but it's like there's no incentive for me. Like there needs to be passing points or something. Like,
yeah,
how are you about that?
I'm just 1 heat race.
Yeah.
I love that. So. The 2 heat races makes it, you race a lot different. So if you know, say for instance in your first heat you get good points, you can sort of, you know, just get through your second heat and that. It's yeah, 1 heat to me. The old outlaw format, 1 heat, inverted 4, first 2 to the dash. I reckon that's the best format.
That's what you like?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So it sort of gets all the fast cars up the front and sort of mixes it. You know, it's still good racing up front, but it's good racing the whole way through. So inverted 8's going to be different tonight.
Difficult, yeah. And you guys heading up to Queensland straight after this?
Yep, so 2 nights in.
What do you think about next week?
Get through tonight.
Yeah.
Get through tonight first and you're right.
She's pretty fast. And there's a bit of a little whoopsie through the middle there. And
where? On the back? Or?
Just in the middle of the corner. And you just pick it up and carry it. But yeah, it's a bit daunting.
How'd you go?
I'm not sure. I think we did 12-0. But
Like,
I'm not sure how that is in the big scheme of things, but I'm just here to get some laps tonight and try to get the confidence back.
I was gonna say, do you feel like a fish out of water? Or you
No, it's just totally different to what I'm used to. It's just, you don't even notice the straightaways. You're like a little breather off the corner, and then you're in the next corner again. But it's definitely a lot of wing speed too.
Think about the track record at Parramatta was 11.5, and already it's like, I think Veal just did a 2 or a 3.
Yeah, so I think we're going to have to grab another gear for that, like another night. But yeah, because the Parramatta gears just feel like I've run out a bit of top end, you know. So
just need to have a go.
We'll see what happens. But I still got the 3-year-old tyres on it, so maybe a new one of them might have given me a little bit more, but we'll see.
Right, so we just had qualifying. The track is a little bit rough going into turn 3, and a lot of drivers were having trouble with that. Ian Madsen set a brand new track record in the first flight, but then Jamie Veal beat it. It's down to, I think, 11.2, which is 3/10 quicker than the Parramatta track record. This is the track that replaced Parramatta, and also it was about 5/10, so half a second quicker than the old track record from the first night that Ian Madsen set back in February. So yeah, track is definitely fast. It's not as wide as what we want. Some guys are really struggling with the bumps going into turn 3. They've got the grader out there right now working on those bumps. So hopefully it widens up a bit and we see some good racing for the heats. Ben Walsh, what are you doing here, man? You're not running?
Working tonight. Working. No, we're obviously committed to Brett to give him a run, and we're here with him. And so actually, it's not a bad thing for him. Obviously, we get to concentrate on him a little bit more than obviously running the 2 cars. But at the moment, we just don't have the money to do it. So we'll sit out this weekend. We'll probably more than likely run the next one, and we'll just weigh it up from there.
Yeah, so you'll hopefully finish out the season with a couple of shows?
Yeah, at least do the next one anyway. Brett can't make the next one. He's got commitments for the 12-hour at Bathurst. So
good problem to have.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll run. I think we'll run the next one, and look, as I say, we'll just take it as it comes. Obviously, more so now. Obviously, getting to this end of the season and the way this whole season's worked out for a local Sydney team, it's almost, we may as well just start getting ready for next year.
They set a new track record tonight, and Parramatta, that this track's replacing, closed down, and you were the guy that will forever have the fastest lap around there. I'm pretty jealous of that, to be honest. You kind of jealous that you're not out there and kind of having a go?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as soon as we looked at the racetrack here tonight, I knew it was going to be a lot faster than it was the first meeting. Just the material in the surface is bound together a lot better. Naturally, with the sun going down earlier and possibly a little bit better air, it's just obviously a good mix for people to drop that record down a bit further.
Easy, man. Well, good to see you here, and hopefully we'll see you out there soon.
Yeah, we'll get the other 92 back out shortly.
Feature race is rolling out now. They've still got the gate open. There's still cars coming out. They're in a bit of a rush. Only the top 20 on points are starting to feature. It's only 20 laps, so you really want to be starting up front when the track is so fast and it's such a short race. There's not a lot of time, and you want to have a lot of ability to pass cars. But you got Jamie Veal and Robbie Farr off the front row. You got Brock Hallett and Troy Little off the second row, and Daniel Pesca's up there too. So a real good mix of guys. You can see that qualifying was weighted so heavy, and you needed to really qualify really well, because although the heats were inverted, the points weren't as heavy as what qualifying was. A guy who got quick time in the first flight, Ian Madsen, he's had trouble, and actually I think he ended up like 24th on points, so he's obviously had trouble in his heat. I know he didn't finish one of his heats, so it is still costly. But either way, should be an exciting feature race. It's going to be fast, it's going to be intense. Being a 2-night show, it's important to just keep making points, as many points as they possibly can. So stick around, should be fun. Grader's about to come out. Goes to show you like the hours that get put in. We've got to get the track ready straight away, and I mean we're lucky tonight in this situation because it's not too hot, there's no heated cars, you know, all those sort of variables are kind of on our side, so it's probably not too much track prep to do, I would say. Although we do want a bit wider racing. Probably not the best night of racing tonight, but being a 2-night show, it should play into our hands that another full night of racing tomorrow night, it'll widen up hopefully a little bit. But yeah, obviously work goes on straight away. It's probably around 10 o'clock right now, just a little bit after. We're gonna go back to our moisture reader thingy and our screwdriver, and I'll just show you again. It shouldn't change too much. I imagine it's pretty soft because you know, the track didn't change too much throughout the night. It was pretty fast. So come up here in the slot where the cars didn't really run. Pretty soft still. And this is the highest that the right rear tires would have run in the feature. Oh, it's a lot harder than I thought. How about that? Come down a little bit further. Yeah, so there's still a little bit in it. Yeah, see, it's probably packed down a little bit on top, but it's still got a little bit soft underneath. Now that we've tried the screwdriver, let's go back to our moisture reader. I don't think we'll be able to push this in too far. This thing, I don't know why I bought this thing. But let's go to the edge of the track of where the cars were running. Oh, it feels like this thing's gonna break. Set it on moisture. Oh my God, this thing is useless. We know it's wet. I thought it would at least give us a reading and tell us that it's dried up, but none of that happened at all. The biggest problem is, as you can see, it's just not as wide as what we would have liked. You want right rear tires up against the fence. I'm looking, this is turn 1 and 2. You can see that's the bottom of the racetrack down there where the little concrete strips are. And then this is where they were running. This is the highest that a car ran basically all night, especially in the sprint cars. And then you've got the rest of this track, you've got a good, you have to say like 7 or 8 meters still of the track that's not being used. So it's really vital that the grader can try and open it up a little bit. Either way, a decent night of racing. Goes to show you how important qualifying is. Tomorrow we've got some heats and obviously we get into the features then. But yeah, an enjoyable night, but yeah, hopefully the track winds up a little bit.